So here we go, it's another year getting ready for the bodybuilding season. This video is going to be very interesting because I'm going to take you through my contest prep with no filters whatsoever. You're going to be able to see what I do, why I do it. You'll be able to see where I get my advice from, how I get coached through this process. You're going to learn things that really you don't read about in magazines. These are the practical things that help the average person get on stage. You know, there's a lot of people out there that are very extremely genetically gifted. And, you know, these are the people you hear that, you know, they just cut out pop or soda and maybe cookies out of their diet. And they get shredded, they get lean, and they're able to step on stage. Well, I'm not that person. Everyone in my family is overweight. I had asthma growing up, so I was forbidden to exercise in fear that I would have an asthma attack. It was highly discouraged. So basically what I'm saying, without getting on a big pity party, is that I am the last person that should be on stage. I'm the last person that should be competitive, even at the local level. But I think that's why there's value in this project that we're undertaking, and it's just to show you what the average person who has a full-time job, who is a single parent, as in my case, what that type of person has to do to get on stage. You know, you hear people say, if I can do it, you can. Well, I don't know if it's ever been more true than in my case. So I'll take you through some of the things that I have to do as someone who's not genetically gifted, who doesn't have unlimited funds, someone who has to do things on a budget, and so on and so forth. You'll learn a lot from this video. So let's start with today. I'm doing my cardio here. This is my daughter's bedroom. She's never in here, so I figure this would be a good place to put my my elliptical. Little plug-in for the elliptical that I like to use. I don't see it in many gyms. It's an Octane Fitness elliptical. The motion is really smooth, so it gives my joints a break. You know, walking on a treadmill, the step mill, I still do all that in the gym. But, you know, at my weight, sometimes it starts to be a bit much on the joints. You know, I'm not the heaviest of competitors. I mean, in the off season, I'm about 240. If I really push it now, I can get up to 245. But there was a time when I got up to 280, just mainly because of bad advice. But now I stay around there. And when, genetically speaking, you're not made to carry around that much weight, it's a lot of extra stress on your joints. So all that to say that this elliptical is really easy on my joints. It's smooth, but yet I can take my, my lower body at the hip joint and even at the knees through a pretty good range of motion. It gets my heart rate up, and if I really want to push it, I can as well on this. So right now, my prescription, if you will, for cardio is 40 minutes of steady state in the morning, which is what I'm doing right now on an empty stomach. Now, I'll go over some of the supplements I took before getting on this, because I'll take supplements before getting on this, and then with my first meal, and on normal work days, I'll go and train after that. So again, what I'm doing right now is 40 minutes of cardio on an empty stomach. Now let's look at that just a little bit, okay? Here's where there's a reason for everything that I do, and this is a reason. When you wake up in the morning, you've been fasting for 8 hours. You have gone through a lot of what we call glycogen stores. Glycogen is just stored energy, stored carbohydrates, if you will, in muscles. We store it in the muscles, we store it in the liver mainly. So overnight, we turn that into fuel to get us through that fasting state. Hopefully you're sleeping for 8 hours. I think most of us only get 6, but whatever it is, you're not eating for that amount of time, but yet your body's still going. There's still stuff that's happening. That requires energy. So we're coming off of this fast. We've zapped through a little bit of our glycogen overnight, and we burned some fat as well. That's the fuel that you burn the most when you're sleeping. And that is why sleeping is so important. So for those of you that think you're going to get ready for a bodybuilding show and all that you have to do is, diet, cut out a few things, eat a few other things, and work out and do cardio, let me tell you, that's just a small part of the equation. Rest is huge, huge. That's how, I think rest is the key factor in maintaining the muscle you have while burning fat. And so for me, that's been a constant struggle. It's that missing link that I'm always trying to get more and more disciplined about. So I got off track there a little bit, but I've rested for 6-8 hours. I've gone through some glycogen, burned some fat. This is an ideal time to do cardio because it doesn't take a lot at this time, biochemically speaking, to burn fat, okay? My blood sugar levels are probably already on the lower side, again, from not eating for 8 hours. And I go straight into more of a fat burning stage while I'm doing my cardio. Let's compare it to getting up, having a full meal, waiting half an hour, and then doing cardio. Well, in that case, what I'm actually doing is going through the energy from the food that I've already begun to digest. So you see, so it takes a little longer to get to that backup fuel source, which is fat. And that's the key. A lot of times people ask me, when is the best time to do cardio? There's no better time than in the morning on an empty stomach. Provided that you're not starving yourself the night before. You kind of walk a fine line between burning fat and burning muscle. So as long as you keep the calories at a place where you can sustain the muscle you have, that morning cardio on an empty stomach is where it's at. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Just look in the physiology books and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You go into oxidative phosphorylation, which is basically a fancy way of saying fat burning, really, really quick. So right now, I'm at about 23 minutes into my 40-minute steady state cardio. I'm starting to sweat just a little bit, but this is the nice thing I like about this cardio too, is that it's kind of mindless. I don't really have to push that hard because I'm already burning a lot of fat. So, it's kind of something that I really like even when I'm not getting ready for a show. Just to warm up for the day. You feel great after getting a little sweat going. My joints feel a lot better. So, by the way, that's something that kind of runs in my family, are joint issues. Mom has a severe case of rheumatoid arthritis. As you'll see later in my supplements, I really do a lot to take care of my liver because, I believe that you take care of your liver, arthritis is something that you're going to be able to keep in check. Most people I know that have rheumatoid arthritis or any kind of health issue like that, has liver problems as well. So I take a lot of supplements to take care of the liver. You know, that's one thing that gets underestimated is the liver's role in fat loss. We'll get into much more detail about the science behind that, but listen, this is where we get away from our muscle magazine education, and we get into some real physiology that applies to bodybuilding. You know, talking about the liver. You know, you're not going to hear a lot about this, but man, you know, without a healthy liver, it's hard to burn fat. As a matter of fact, you know, it's in the liver that we take a hormone that's not as active. We call it T4. It's made in the thyroid, and convert it into T3, which is a much more biologically active form of the thyroid hormone, which is going to, bottom line, it's going to help you burn fat, keep your metabolic rate going a lot better. So a healthy liver is dependent on that. Healthy liver is also dependent on being able to maintain blood sugar levels. Probably never heard that as well. You think of the liver as just something that's going to clean your body out, detoxify you. But in all reality, the liver, with its role in dealing with fats, cholesterol, through that it's going to be able to control blood sugar level as well. So that's important, because if you can't control blood sugar levels throughout the day, man, dieting is hard. You get hungry, and hunger leads to appetite. And once that appetite sets in, and you're walking past the fast food joint or driving past a fast food joint, it's tough. So, you know, the liver's where it's at. So, anyway, you know, we'll get into all of this, you know, more physiology with, you know, some things that help in fat loss. But anyway, so I'm here at 27 minutes in. Got 13 more minutes to go. And what I like to do while I'm doing cardio is I start working actually. I got my cell phone with me, my iPhone, and I'm usually answering emails while I'm doing my cardio, and answering texts, keeping up with friends on Facebook, in my news here. So I'm kind of multitasking as well. You have to, you know, I only have enough time to dedicate to this thing, which is contest prep.